Let's debunk some more haunted dolls. When there is a warmer space on one side of the door than the other side of the door will close. The reason why the door stopped closing at that particular moment, if a draft is to blame, is because the cold air is now rushing into the room, or the hot air is rushing out of the room. Regardless, it creates an air cushion that stops the door from fully closing. Interesting. The camera that they're using is a Wisecam Pan V2. Ask me how I know. There's two right there. There's two out there. There's one on the balcony. I have V2, V3. I've got the V1 model. I have extensive knowledge of Wisecams, and I have extensive knowledge of the particular style of cameras that these work with, or that these are. This is being manipulated by a touchscreen, because you could only move the touchscreen so far. You can only touch across so far, and that's why you get that stuttering. It moves this far, and then it moves this far, and then it moves this far. That's a touch screen that they're using to manipulate the camera. It's not a baby monitor. It's a Wisecam Pan V2. All that is to say that this is not a motion tagging system that's causing the camera to move. Furthermore, why would you put a motion activated? Why would you add the motion activated system if it's the baby that you're attempting to monitor? Right? You think the baby's going to jump out of the bed, jump out of the crib and run across the bedroom? No. So you want to be paying attention to the child while it's in the crib. Therefore, you would either not buy a motion activated camera, or like a motion tracking camera, and you would stick with the standalone camera that can pay attention to the baby, or you would turn the panning function off so that you could pay attention to the thing that the camera's intending to film, the baby. Well, the first thing I want to point out is that you actually fucked up when you turn the camera towards the other wall, because you can see that the door opened, and yet when the camera pans back, the door's closed again. Once again, you can also tell that it's being manipulated by the touchscreen of a cell phone. Obviously, the doll is being yanked towards the door by a string. Motion tracking doesn't work like that. This is a very bad ghost video. It's too easy to debunk. There was no challenge.
The door closing could be a breeze, but why would a responsible parent leave the window open at night while their baby is in bed in the depths of winter when this video was captured?
Fantastic observation. You're absolutely correct about that one as well. No responsible parent ever would. So that's another point against them. Also, you can see somebody moving around in the reflection of the light cast by the door opening. So I'm pretty sure we can just move on to the next video.
Mary Proctor is pretty sure she lives in a haunted house, but no one believes her.
Me included.
So she decided to set up a few cameras around the house to prove her claims.
Static cams are perfect places to hide shit. You can layer two videos on top of each other and nobody would ever know.
Little did she know that these same cameras would serve as proof of something absolutely terrifying.
I can see what video it is because of the timeline. Okay.
Let's watch.
Can we get you better? Okay, baby. Oh, you want to take this here?
There is no fucking face. There is no face. That's not a face. The kid hurt themselves. People say that you hear a slap. In the original video that was uploaded, the slap has an absolutely... It has a level of clarity that the rest of the video lacks. Okay, so the slap was added in post. There's no fucking face. I'm sick of seeing this video. This is like 12 years old. Stop uploading this. Stop sharing it. It's nothing. It's a kid friggin' pinching its finger and getting upset. Oh, Jesus Christ.
At first, the family discarded the incident, thinking their daughter was simply overreacting.
Yeah. You know, like kids do. In fact, every reaction that a kid has is overreaction because they don't know how to, like, level their emotions. You know what I mean? Everything is the most intense experience to somebody who's never experienced anything because they're a child. Every injury that you get as a child, like, you know how people in their adult life have like a really high pain tolerance? It's because they've been hurt millions of times and they now have a ratio. They have a rationale for how much something hurts versus how much it's actually damaged them. Children do not have this because every time they get hurt, it's the first like 10 times. You know what I mean? Babies cry because being born is the most intense experience of their life because it's the only experience of their life. As their brains form, they create new neural pathways and synapse connections, and they start to understand more and more and more about what is and what isn't something to be reacted to extremely. You know, trying to attribute a child's behavior to some sort of abnormal ghost or poltergeist kind of situation is one of the most, I can't say the word, things that you could possibly do. Just think for 10 minutes.
But after taking a closer look at her arm, they decided to check out the camera and zoom in to understand how she hurt herself. That's when they realized that the way their daughter's arm bent backwards was not normal at all.
That's the motion that a child would have. So, like, think about this, okay? The crib is pushed right up against the wall. Here's one of the things that I try to tell people back when I was moving houses and trying to, like, help set things up. We would dismantle the crib, but we would never remantle it, put it back together, because it's a liability situation. But oftentimes people would just not dismantle it at all and have us just move it in one solid piece. And I always recommended to these people to keep the crib like away from the wall. Don't push it right up against the wall because the little gap between the bars and the wall is a perfect amount of space for you to push your knuckles in and then pull your fingers back and then get this part jammed behind the wall. And I want you to do something right now. Right now. I want you to take your hand, grab the very top digit and pull it down and see how much that hurts. Okay? Now imagine a child sticks their fingers back there and then pulls them back. They could dislocate these parts of their fingers. It hurts like a bitch. So it's no wonder the kid got hurt. And the feeling of her hurting her hand in such a way leads her to go like, what the hell? You know what I mean? It's a child. They have poor motor control, but they will injure themselves if they keep the crib that close to the wall. So move your cribs away from the walls.
However, this was not the only time they captured something creepy on camera. Here is one of the many scary videos they gathered over the years to prove their house is really haunted.
I don't think these two videos are published by the same creator. I think that this person has misattributed this video and the other video. You know what I mean? Like, think about that. This one says 2022 behind the Goose Pimples logo. The other one was like a 12-year-old video. Unless they had another child. That kid is probably like 16 or 17 by now. What's with the toys?
Did you notice how the door slowly opened on its own just a few seconds before we heard a strange voice? According to Mary, this was captured when everyone was in bed.
The door likely opened because somebody's standing behind that door, behind the wall, and they just push the door open. The toy that goes off there, I'm going to see if I can find it. Give me a minute. It is a Lion King talking Simba moving head motion activated toy. I know it doesn't look like that, the same, but I guarantee you that's what it is. It's a toy that has a motion activated system in it based on the button press. And it's very likely that because this is a static shot, that these are two different shots, and they've just spliced them down the middle so that the motion of the toy is conveniently hidden behind the splice.
The door could have been just air pressure doing its thing, since the door wasn't even properly shut. But what could have caused that weird voice? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
It was the toy. The toy made the noise.
While investigating a supposedly haunted puppet fashioned after an old man, the guys over on HD Paranormal decided their best bet was to record it for as long as possible, in the hopes of catching some raw paranormal footage. And, as it turns out, they caught something absolutely bone-chilling.
Okay, I'm gonna go right off the hop and say that this is the absolute most dog shit camera angle if you're attempting to record the fucking doll. The camera should definitely be a lot closer, positioned correctly within a downward facing angle above the doll so that the reflection of the IR light doesn't block anything. This ought to be good. No, it's fucking not, because how do you put the doll in there? You just wish the doll inside the cabinet? No, it's got a door. And the door is probably, let me look at it again. The door is on the side it's being pulled from. Do I even need to fucking tell you how they're doing it?
The video isn't very clear, the picture is fuzzy, and the camera is pretty far away from the action, but they swear that the thing moving was the operating cross of the puppet.
So it's a marionette puppet. It's attached by strings. So what's another string? If you see one of the strings, then somebody would say, no, that's just part of the marionette doll. You know, it's a way to dismiss people finding the fucking string.
And it was in a sealed cabinet. So, if all of that is true, how the hell was it moving?
That's how. You see how thin the fucking string is? You can barely see it if you put it on the right conditions. Boom. See? It's basically invisible now.
The Jefferson Hotel is infamous for all of the poltergeist activity they've captured over the years.
Fantastic. Let's listen to the paranormal business that's business is paranormal activity. And if paranormal activity doesn't happen in their business, then their business shuts down. Let's listen to them and let's totally believe that whatever they're capturing is authentic.
But none of it can be compared to the most recent mind-blowing paranormal evidence that they caught on camera. And get ready, because today you're about to witness the reason why this place earned its title as one of the most haunted hotels in the world.
Doesn't it just seem like they're handing out that moniker like fucking candy in a fair? Everywhere that's haunted is the most haunted location in the world, or in America. The most haunted bed and breakfast in America. The most haunted hotel in America. The most haunted fucking discarded pair of shoes hanging from a telephone pole.
Guests have reported seeing objects moving on their own, shadow figures running across corridors, unexplainable noises, and some more explainable noises too.
I didn't know that you could.
For all jokes and bodily functions aside, let's start with the CCTV evidence. While looking at the overnight cameras, the owner noticed the motion sensors picked up on something in the kitchen at around 5 AM. He was expecting to catch a bug on the camera lens, but what he actually captured made his blood run cold. Take a look.
Here's, the area where everything went flying. We have a light thing of crackers, which there's not much in there, so it's not super heavy. The butter is pretty heavy. Bananas are very heavy compared to the rest, and then you got your crackers, which are pretty heavy, which are full. We're not ruling out the possibility of, some type of animal. It'd have to be a pretty big animal to do what you're about to see, but again, I'm leaning more towards paranormal because we did a lot of debunking. There was no droppings. We've never seen any type of rat, possum, anything like that in this building.
You're leaning more towards the paranormal because you need it to be paranormal. Because it's your business to have paranormal shit happen. Do you see the fucking problem here? Do you see it? Because I do.
The movement, it was just so weird. Like the movement went like this, so there had to have been... I can't explain it. So let's get right to it. Going to the events to make sure nobody came in or out of the kitchen. There's first set of movement right there.
Well, somebody probably hiding behind that fucking pillar and all the shit has got a broom handle and they're just jamming shit. Because once again, paranormal location, business. Always when you're watching the videos from haunted houses, remember that they get paid for people to come and experience paranormal shit. Everything in a haunted house is fake. It's basically an escape room, except instead of escaping the room, they're using the props that an escape room would use to make paranormal shit happen.
We know nobody came into the kitchen. I came in there 3 hours prior to this, and I'll show you that footage. And we'll also go over the light anomaly, because that one is just crazy to me. I've never seen anything like that. So let's see what other movement we're going to get. That was the taller cracker. You can hear something's moving there. There's a big movement. I think that...
Are you seriously trying to tell me that that wasn't done with a broom handle? The motion supports the theory that it was done with a broom handle, or a mop handle, or just a big fucking stick. A hockey stick, even.
The taller box is about to go flying here in a second. Okay, you can hear it. There it goes. Alright, there's the taller box. Now the bananas coming up, this is the one that's really weird. Should be here in a second. Right there. Alright, so look like the butter just moved. Now look at the bananas. I can't explain that. Like, looks like it got pulled back. Now it's about to get launched. And this is the last part. And here we go.
I rest my case. That was done with a stick. In any case, that's all the time I have for this video. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and watch one of these two videos. Or I think the bottom one's going to be a playlist from now on. Thanks for watching. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.